A long-standing feud between rap artist Drake and Kendrick Lamar is once again heating up after the release of diss tracks back to back, and we really mean back to back to back to back.
I always keep my ear out for the hardest shit. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for, the other two guys that I'm constantly, up against, which is like Cole and Kendrick.
I respect their music, for sure. I respect them as individuals and creators.
In the sprawling universe of hip-hop, few rivalries have been as intricate, layered, and quietly simmering as the one between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. It's a story of camaraderie, turned competition, of subtle digs and overt challenges, of two superstars vying for the throne in a genre where dominance means everything. This is not just a tale of two artists, but a microcosm of hip-hop's very essence, its competitive spirit, its demand for authenticity, and its relentless hunger for greatness. To understand the dynamic between Drake and Kendrick, we have to start at the beginning. Aubrey Drake Graham, the Toronto-born former child actor turned rapper, had a meteoric rise through the hip-hop ranks. Signed to Lil Wayne's Young Money label, Drake's vulnerability and knack for crafting melodies turned albums like Thank Me Later and Take Care into instant classics. His image as an emotional but self-assured hitmaker made him a crossover star. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, on the other hand, was the voice of Compton, a student of West Coast legends like Tupac Shakur and Dr. Dre. With mixtapes like Overly Dedicated and Section.80, Kendrick established himself as a lyrical savant and social commentator, seamlessly blending storytelling with intricate wordplay. While Drake embodied the polished global appeal of hip-hop's future, Kendrick was its gritty, cerebral conscience. By 2011, the two represented different worlds within the same genre. And for a brief moment, it seemed as though they were destined to complement each other. Their first major connection came when Kendrick visited Toronto in 2011.
I sat down with Drake in Toronto a while back when I did my first show out there. He called me up, man, we had a few drinks.
After a show in Drake's hometown, Kendrick received an invitation to join him in the studio. Drake, already a star, recognized Kendrick's potential. They bonded over music, life, and their shared ambitions. Kendrick even played an early version of his debut album, Section.80, for Drake, a move that signaled trust and respect. Later that year, Kendrick featured on Drake's Take Care album, delivering a haunting verse on the Buried Alive interlude. The track, introspective and layered, hinted at themes of admiration and competition. Kendrick acknowledged Drake's influence while subtly asserting his own identity. And that was right when I flowed out the basement and onto the stage, and I left out that cage. Now, if the industry had let me, I'd make a legacy. Drake, ever the strategist, invited Kendrick on his Club Paradise tour in 2012 alongside A$AP Rocky.
This is my brother A$AP Rocky. This is my brother Kendrick Lamar. This is my brother Chasing Cash. We all ask you just one favor. Y'all keep working on being the beautiful people that you are, and we're gonna keep giving you this music that you love so much.
It was a significant opportunity for Kendrick, still relatively unknown to mainstream audiences. The move cemented Drake as a generous mentor. But was there more to it? Some speculated that Drake's decision was as much about fostering loyalty as it was about showcasing Kendrick's talent. Even in these early stages, the seeds of competition were being planted. In 2012, Kendrick dropped his major label debut, Good Kid, Massachusetts, AD City. The album was a masterpiece, an autobiographical exploration of life in Compton, full of vivid storytelling and intricate lyricism. Critics and fans hailed it as one of the greatest hip-hop albums of its generation. Singles like Swimming Pools Drank and Poetic Justice, featuring Drake, dominated the airwaves. Drake publicly congratulated Kendrick on the album's success, but privately, the dynamics were shifting. Kendrick was no longer the rookie tagging along on Drake's tour. He was a force in his own right, a lyrical heavyweight and a commercial success. For the first time, Drake's dominance was being questioned. Who was the leader of hip-hop's new school? The battle lines were beginning to form, though neither artist had openly acknowledged them. The rivalry burst into public view in 2013 with Kendrick's now legendary verse on Big Sean's Control. In an era where rap feuds had become increasingly rare, Kendrick reignited the competitive spirit of hip-hop by calling out nearly every major rapper by name. I'm usually homeboys with the same guys I'm rhyming with, but this is hip-hop, and them guys should know what time it is. Drake's name wasn't mentioned directly, but the implication was clear. Kendrick was gunning for the crown, and Drake, as the biggest name in the game, was an inevitable target. The industry's reaction was electric. Rappers scrambled to respond, but Drake remained silent at first. When he finally addressed the verse in an interview, he downplayed its significance. I know he's not at all. Yet, the tension was palpable. Kendrick had thrown down the gauntlet, and though Drake refused to engage directly, the rivalry had now entered the public consciousness. When he and TDE attended the 2013 BET Hip Hop Awards and took part in the cypher, Kendrick continued to put pressure on Drake. K-Dot practiced target work to the ominous Shook Ones instrumental. Nothing's been the same since they dropped Control and tucked the sensitive rapper back in his pajama clothes. Haha, joke's on you, high five. I'm bulletproof. Your shoots never penetrates. Pin the tail on the donkey. Boy, you been a fake. Drake discussed his jabs at Kendrick on the language and the reasons he felt obliged to defend himself against the Compton MC in a cover story with Vibe magazine. Where it became an issue is that I was rolling out an album while that verse was still bubbling. So my album rollout became about this thing. What am I supposed to say? Nah, we'll be buddy-buddy. Mind you, I never once said he's a bad guy, I don't like him. I think he's a fing genius in his own right. But I also stood my ground as I should. And with that came another step, which then I have to realize I'm being baited and I'm not gonna fall. Jordan doesn't have to play pickup to prove that he could play ball, no offense. But I'm not gonna give you the chance to shake me necessarily. Because I feel great. There's no real issue. Over the next few years, the rivalry simmered in the background, manifesting in subtle disses and strategic moves. Kendrick, known for his layered lyricism, took aim at rappers who prioritized hits over substance. In King Kunta, a standout track from his 2015 album To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick declared, "I can dig rappin', but a rapper with a ghostwriter? What the F happened?" Many interpreted the line as a jab at Drake, whose credibility had been questioned after allegations of using ghostwriters surfaced during his feud with Meek Mill.
My greatest talent is writing, and that's why people ask me to write songs for them. That's why people like to get in the room and write with me.
Though Kendrick never named Drake explicitly, the implication was clear. Kendrick was positioning himself as the antithesis of everything he believed Drake represented. Authenticity versus commercialism, depth versus accessibility. Drake, for his part, delivered his own subtle shots. On tracks like Summer 16 and The Language, he referenced his dominance and dismissed competitors without naming names. It was a game of chess, with both artists making calculated moves to assert their superiority. By 2017, the rivalry had reached new heights. Kendrick's Damn was a commercial and critical juggernaut, spawning hits like DNA and Humble. The latter, with its pointed refrain, "Sit down, be humble," was widely seen as a direct challenge to Drake and other industry heavyweights. Kendrick was now not just a rapper, but a cultural force, using his platform to address everything from systemic racism to personal accountability. Drake, meanwhile, released More Life, a playlist that showcased his versatility and global appeal. Tracks like Passion Fruit and Fake Love dominated charts worldwide, reaffirming his status as a pop cultural icon. While Kendrick's music delved into societal issues and personal struggles, Drake's focus remained on creating anthems that resonated universally. The contrast between the two artists couldn't have been more stark. Kendrick was the thinker, the critic, the poet. Drake was the entertainer, the hitmaker, the chameleon. Their rivalry wasn't just about music, it was a clash of philosophies. As the years passed, both artists solidified their legacies. Drake became the first artist to surpass 50 billion streams on Spotify, while Kendrick won a Pulitzer Prize for Damn, a historic achievement that underscored his artistic impact. Yet their rivalry remained unresolved. Fans and critics continued to debate. Who was the true king of hip-hop? Drake's dominance in the charts was undeniable, but Kendrick's cultural and lyrical contributions were unparalleled. The question wasn't just about sales or accolades. It was about what hip-hop values most. In recent years, the rivalry has entered a new phase, a quiet Cold War marked by periods of absence and occasional bursts of activity. Kendrick's Mr. Morale and The Big Steppers 2022 offered introspection and vulnerability, while Drake's Certified Lover Boy 2021 and Her Loss 2022 reaffirmed his ability to dominate trends. Despite the lack of direct confrontation, the tension lingers. Every release, every verse, every interview is scrutinized for signs of a continued feud. The rivalry has become less about direct attacks and more about the broader question of legacy. Who will history remember as the definitive voice of their generation? It's a rivalry fueled by competition, ambition, and a thirst for greatness. And it all reignited with just one line. This single moment sent shockwaves through the hip-hop world. J. Cole and Drake, two of rap's biggest names, declared themselves the Big Two. A bold statement, maybe even fair, considering their dominance in streams, hits, and cultural influence. But for one man, it wasn't just a statement, it was a challenge. Kendrick Lamar, an artist often hailed as the true poet of our generation, was noticeably absent from this conversation. And he didn't take it lightly. In his collaboration with Future and Metro Boomin, he responded to Drake and J. Cole's claims by saying, "Yeah, get up with me, F sneak dissing. First-person shooter. I hope they came with 3 switches. Think I won't drop the location? I still got PTSD, F the big 3. N-word, it's just big me." Drizzy addressed Lamar at his March 24th performance in Sunrise, Florida, even though he hadn't yet written anything down. "A lot of people ask me how I'm feeling. I'ma let you know I'm feeling. Listen, the same way I'm feeling is the same way I want you to walk out this building tonight," he said. "I got my effing head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida and anywhere else I go. And I know that no matter what, it's not a N-word on this earth that could ever up with me in my life." Then roll around. April 2024, where after popular hip-hop figure DJ Academics had leaked a supposed Drake diss towards Kendrick, which many were skeptical about and believed was AI, was officially released by Drake on April 19th on streaming platforms titled Push-Ups. The Six God makes fun of Kendrick's diminutive size, particularly the size of his foot in the cover art, as well as his contract with Top Dog Entertainment. Drake seems to be targeting Rick Ross, The Weeknd, Metro Boomin, Future, and others on the song, so K. wasn't the lone target. When Drake posted his tailor-made freestyle on Instagram, he intensified his first jab at Lamar by rapping in the voices of Tupac and Snoop Dogg on his individual verses using artificial intelligence vocals. Drake increased the inventiveness of his work. Drake, assuming the role of Kendrick's influence, expressed dissatisfaction with the PG Lang rapper for not responding to push-ups yet. K. even postponed his expected reaction, citing the debut of Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department. Drake's decision came with a cost. If he didn't take the song down from his social media accounts, Tupac's estate, a major figure in the late rapper's career, threatened to sue him. Drake complied and removed the song from his pages as the drama and tension increased. After releasing his comeback song Euphoria, Kendrick Lamar only needed to tweet to reignite the dispute. The furious 6-minute tirade saw a vengeful Lamar criticizing Drake for his use of the N-word, as well as his hip-hop qualities and fashion sense. Kendrick Lamar ambushed Drake once more less than 72 hours after Euphoria was released, attempting to go back-to-back with his second diss song of the fight, 616 in LA. On May 3rd, early in the morning, Kendrick dropped his poetic bomb. He said the OVO boss had a mole spreading lies about him, and this time he shot directly at Drake's camp. "Have you ever thought that OVO was working for me? Fake bully, I hate bullies. You must be a terrible person. Everyone inside your team is whispering that you deserve it. Can't Tuesday slide up out of this one, it's just going to resurface." Lamar persisted in his attack, pointing fingers to Drake's fellow close friends when he claimed that his loved ones were stabbed behind his back. 100 in words, as that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty. And one of them is actually next to you, and 2 of them is practically tied to your lifestyle, he spews. Approximately 14 hours after Kendrick Lamar released his 616 in LA diss track, Drake's shattering Family Matters response was posted on YouTube. Drizzy continues where he left off, finishing push-ups, and takes aim at Lamar and his supposedly strained and infidelity-filled relationship with girlfriend Whitney Alford. "You the Black Messiah wifing up a mixed queen. And hit Vanilla Cream to help out with your self-esteem. On some Bobby sheet, I want to know what Whitney need," he spews. Kendrick Lamar's scathing "Meet the Grams" came just minutes after Drake's Family Matters debuted. K. dropped his third Drake diss song this week when the clock struck midnight on the East Coast on May 4th. As he accuses Drake of concealing a child other than Adonis and criticizes Drizzy for being a deadbeat father, family appears to be the recurring issue. "You lied about your son, you lied about your daughter, huh? You lied about them other kids that's out there hoping that you come," Lamar raps, claiming Drake has a baby girl.
Kendrick calling Drake a and all this stuff, and you have an illegitimate daughter. Brian had such a good joke because he said you have an illegitimate daughter, you're groom women, and then Drake's comeback was, "I don't have an 11-year-old daughter," and Brian said, "Hey bro, address the other."
Kendrick keeps warning Drake that there are in the OVO camp and that he has problems with alcohol and gambling and other degenerate habits. In addition, he enumerates all of Drake's purported lies on his son, ghostwriters, cosmetic procedures, and other topics. K. snipes, "This is a lifelong battle with yourself, not a rap battle." On what has turned out to be a historic night in hip-hop, Kendrick's third diss single of the week is undoubtedly his most venomous, coming after 616 in LA and Euphoria. Kendrick Lamar took aim at Drake once more with the biting song Not Like Us, less than 24 hours after releasing Meet the Grams. K. accuses Drizzy and his OVO crew of being on the mustard-produced song. An overhead view of the Six Gods mansion outside of Toronto is shown in the artwork that goes with the song. The house is decorated with red emblems. Drake unleashed his 5-minute comeback, the Heart PT6, after Lamar delivered a vicious tongue-lashing on Meet the Grams and Not Like Us, drawing on Lamar's groundbreaking Heart franchise. Drake refuted claims that he has a daughter, and that he was the one who initially lured Lamar into obtaining false information about his purported child. We plotted for a week, and then we fed you the information. A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it. We thought about giving a fake name or a destination, but you so thirsty, you not concerned with investigation, raps Drake. He went beyond simply refuting the claims made against his daughter. Additionally, he brought attention to Lamar's girlfriend Whitney by implying that she might be expecting a child with the rapper's business partner Dave Free. And why isn't Whitney denying all of the allegations? Why is she following Dave Free and not Mr. Morale? You haven't seen the kids in 6 months. The distance is wild. Dave leaving heart emojis underneath pics of the child. Many fans were split after Drake's reaction, which was given in all its raw honesty. A degree of ambiguity was added to the continuing feud when some viewed it as a heroic attempt, while others thought it was a bit too late for the Canadian rap artist, with Not Like Us debuting at #1 on the Hot 100. Kendrick Lamar's scathing criticism scorched the internet and charts. The chart victory marks Lamar's first solo appearance since 2017's Humble, and his fourth #1 on the Hot 100. Not only did Not Like Us top the charts, but Euphoria also had a significant increase, moving up 8 ranks and reaching #3 in its second week on the all-genre list. Fast forward to June 19th, and Kendrick Lamar performed Not Like Us 5 times at LA concert. Then a couple weeks after this, he released the Not Like Us music video on July 4th, following a smoldering MVP campaign in which his West Coast song, Not Like Us, dominated pop culture and the airwaves. Kendrick Lamar was revealed as the 2025 Super Bowl halftime performer. Critics expressed their annoyance with New Orleans superstar Lil Wayne's exclusion from the festivities, so Lamar's triumphant moment wasn't totally well received. Skeptics, including Drake and Wayne's Young Money teammate Nicki Minaj, complained about Jay-Z's role in selecting K. Especially since the Super Bowl will be held in Wayne's hometown the following year. Kendrick's 6th studio album, GNX, was released to cap off his incredible run. The unexpected release stunned the internet as Lamar openly criticized Snoop's seeming treachery, Lil Wayne's lack of support, and other issues. Even if he doesn't specifically mention Drake on the record, it's safe to conclude that he has no plans to part ways with the Six God in the near future. I never pieced it up. That stuff don't sit well with me. Before I take a truce, I'll take him to hell with me. Drake made an appearance on a Kickstream with Canadian caster XQC less than 48 hours after Kendrick's unexpected release. Drake was blunt in his opening remarks to the session, apparently condemning Kendrick's jabs from their rivalry. I'm here, as you can see, fully intact, mind, body, and soul. In case you are wondering, right? You need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do it. Then the most recent news from this feud is Drake's multiple lawsuits against UMG, claiming they use bots to enhance Kendrick Lamar's hit song Not Like Us. It's also been said he could have chose to sue Kendrick but decided upon UMG, as it's a chess move to get out of his contract or even increase his number if he wins the suit. And here's the thing. We may never get a definitive winner, because when the dust settles, when the diss tracks fade and the streams slow down, one truth remains. This rivalry has pushed the culture forward in ways we could have never imagined.
The internet on fire. Are you Team Drake or Team Kendrick Lamar? The feud is red hot, with both stars dropping several diss tracks.
So what about you? Where do you stand in the great debate? Are you Team Drake, the king of hits and the voice of a generation? Or are you Team Kendrick, the architect of meaning and the keeper of hip-hop's soul? Whoever you're rooting for, one thing's for sure, this story isn't over. And as long as there's music, there'll always be a battle for the throne. Until next time, keep the beat alive, and we'll see you on the front lines of hip-hop.